Hey everybody, welcome to the Dad Challenge Podcast Saturday Surprise. Well, it's not really a surprise. I said I was going to cover the second half of the Kyra video, and that's what we got to do, because apparently it gets way worse. And I was like, how can it get worse? But it gets worse. I've seen some of the screenshots of things she said on Reddit, and oh my gosh. So I said I'd do it, so I got to do it. So let's do it. All right, without further ado, let's get back to the forehead sessions and see what she has to say.
Chance to maybe not give me the chance.
Wait, where do we leave off? Something about her like not saying that if you only knew blah blah blah, and like Oscar didn't give her any emotions for their entire marriage. She only cried twice as long as she's known him, blah blah blah. Throwing him under us, saying I don't want to talk about Oscar, but then talks about Oscar literally the entire video. Yeah, and that she said she didn't see the video. Damn liar.
Even, but like, look back on all the videos that you've watched, even my ones where I didn't know the camera was recording me, because we have a good amount of those. I've never been...
How do you know the camera's not recording? You're such a liar.
Like that. So it's just hard that now what people know of me or want to know of me is not me. And like, I can't sit here every day and prove people wrong or try to prove people wrong.
She's just, again, I said this in the last video. We're not asking you to sit here every day and try to prove people wrong. You seem to have the magic bullet about how to get out of this. You have the truth. You can tell everybody the truth. And yet you're sitting here never telling the truth, not telling people what happened. It's really as simple as that. It could take you 5 minutes. You could say it right now. But what she's trying to do is deflect here. Oh, you're just trying to get me every day to stand up to me. No, then just tell this truth that you seem to think that will get you out of it. It's so simple, man.
I can only just be myself, which I don't know. And
that's yourself. So she's like, I can only just be myself. So what your authentic self is living this thing you're doing right now. So you dropped Oscar. In my opinion, you cheated on Oscar with Presticles. Okay. And even if you didn't, Hannah was your best friend. And instead of comforting her during this massive divorce and breakup, you comforted him. And then you said you got into the sack. Right? So if that's your authentic self, that's who you really are, you are bad, Kyra. That's why people hate you.
Till now, in the past like month or two, that I've really been able to do, because I was just trying to...
Also, imagine being, I'm coming into my authentic self by getting plastic surgery. You can't make that shit up, everybody. Like, I know people who want to get plastic surgery and it makes you feel good and there's mommy makeovers and all that stuff. I get that. Boob lifts and tummy tuck, all that. Don't say that's your authentic self, because that is absolutely the antithesis of your authentic self, because it's not authentic anymore. You know what I mean? I just don't say it. It's semantics, I know, but don't say that.
Be okay. Be positive. Be happy. Who cares? F the haters, right? But like, that only works for so long. So that's why I really took a break for social media for like a month, and then I came back, and now I've just really been trying to be like authentically me, no matter what the outcome of that is.
Just say the truth. I can't get over it. Say the truth then. Why can't you?
And I feel like a lot of you guys see that.
No, these guys do, because they're your tribe, and they think it's cool to cheat, and they're cool with it because they probably would cheat too. So yeah, of course they're on board with you for that. Misery loves company. Look at this. If you need to stop talking about this, Kyra, us who are fans of you completely understand. Do you? Do you understand? And you're cool with it? So you'd be cool with your best friend coming in and snaking your husband out from under you. You'd be cool with that? All right. Just making sure I understand. They're all cool until it happens to them, right? See this? I agree with you. And that vid surfaced of him yelling at you. You mean the video that she went live on purpose on Instagram so that she get people on her side? You know, that one that wasn't accidentally uploaded? Because you know how hard it is to go live without going through a bunch of different processes? You don't just press a button, you're accidentally live. Doesn't happen that way. And if you watch the video, it's actually her being way more angry towards him and him just being like, I don't want this. So get wrecked, A-butts.
I honestly feel like sometimes the way you express yourself makes it seem like you blame him. I couldn't deal with it anymore. I definitely get that, and I actually think for a small part of the first 6 months of our breakup, I was very upset at him because I did feel like I couldn't do it anymore. I felt my end was I was trying really hard. I was switching things up. I was trying to act different. I wasn't being emotional. I was walking and talking the way I thought I was supposed to be, and then it didn't even work. So when I finally blew up and left, after I was like, yeah, because then...
No, that's a lie. I'm going to stop you there. You're lying. You were different because you were stuck in Preston's taint. That's what was done right. It was different. As soon as Preston came into the guy, you can't be argued that as soon as Preston came into this picture, like kind of more like as a producer of BTS and everything else, that's when shit hit the fan. Like, I'm sorry. They were spending a lot of time together, especially probably editing that podcast, because the guy's not even an editor. Why even hire this guy? Doesn't know what he's doing. Okay? But I'm sure they spent lots of nights up in that little studio editing these videos while Hannah and Oscar weren't there. Okay? The thing is just if you told the truth, you'd be like, look, I fell out of love with Oscar and I fell in love with Preston. As shitty as it is, at least you're telling the truth, right? But you don't want to tell the truth because you know it makes you look bad. But but while lying, you also make yourself look bad. She's stuck between a rock and a hard place. I'll give her that, right? To tell the truth now, people would be like, everything would be affirmed. She's holding on to this because it's all she has left. And that's crazy. It's so selfish to think about it. She knows that this like one ace up her sleeve is all she has left to keep people watching. Once people absolutely find the truth and it comes from her, Oscar, Hannah, whatever, they aren't going to watch her anymore. The tea is over. The drama's over. They're like, well, bye, girl. And so she's stuck. I get that. But she's still leading people along with this whole, I know something you don't know, and once you know it, blah, blah, blah. Like the same thing as like boyfriend, and I got a guy, I'm not going to show you him. Like nobody knows.
And you have to understand, he was like, where's this coming from? And then to me, it was like, are you kidding?
No, he's not kidding. He's asking where it's coming from. And you're like, what do you mean? Well, why didn't you communicate it before? You're like, instead of acting different and doing all these things, why don't you just fucking communicate it to him? Hello? Hey, these are the problems I have. I wish you wouldn't do this, or I wish you would do this more. You know, I'm feeling this way about something. Like, that's marriage 101, people. I know a lot of people can't communicate. But communication is one of the, if not the most important thing in a marriage. It's the most important thing in a marriage. Communication about what you want and your needs, loyalty. Like, there's so many, all you had to do, and she's sitting here thinking, why didn't he read my mind? And again, that's not just Kyra. That's a lot of women and men, to be honest, okay? So take this take this moment here to reflect on your own relationships if you're watching this. Have you communicated your needs to your husband, to your wife, your spouse, your boyfriend, your girlfriend? Have you communicated the things that really are deal breakers for you? Especially if you're in a long-term relationship and you've been in a long-term relationship and maybe some things have shifted over the years and they have become deal breakers where they might not have been before. It is imperative that you communicate those things so that your partner can either correct, you know what I mean? It's correctable, something that they've changed, that's something that you just I've grown tired of, and they want to correct it. I would correct something my wife wants me to correct if that means that it would make her happy, right? And I do that app with her and we do these questions, and there's some things that have come up for sure in our relationship that I wish she wouldn't do, and there's tons of stuff that she wishes I wouldn't do, right? And if I love my wife and honor and cherish her, I will make efforts to change those things. Obviously, depending on what they are. I want to change my personality or who I really am. But if there are things that are changeable that will make her happy, why wouldn't you? So just fucking communicate. And here's the thing. Kyra didn't want to communicate that. Kyra wanted to find problems or make problems where problems likely didn't exist before because of Preston. Everybody, she sabotaged this relationship because of Preston, in my opinion. So everything she says here, she's like, I tried to do all this. No, you wanted it to end. You really did. Otherwise, you would have done the other thing. Do you know? Okay. Good.
I did have that mentality of, this is all your fault, which isn't true. It takes two to tango. And after, obviously, going through the steps and the process and getting out of our relationship for a longer period of time, I was like, I know my flaws in that. And there was a lot. I had a lot of responsibility in the reason why that didn't work out. Truthfully, we were just very different people, and I couldn't...
No, you met someone different. Don't lie.
Stand some of the things that he did, and they weren't bad things. They weren't toxic things. These were just things that were him.
I couldn't stand him being his authentic self. Again, when it comes down to this whole thing, it just popped into my head, obviously, it's sabotage. She doesn't want to change anything. She wants to see the worst in it. When she has already checked out of the relationship because she's in a relationship with Preston, of course she's not going to want to try to fix anything. She is actually looking for more ways to end it, more things to be mad about, more things to say, oh, I don't like that. Because she was with someone else, guys. That is so evident here. And this is why she doesn't tell the truth.
And that he should never have to change or apologize for. So I definitely think there was a good portion of last year where I was angry and I did feel like, why are you playing this sad role when
playing
you did
sad
this? Which is
what? Did she just say that out loud? Why are you playing a sad role when you did this? So you're telling us he broke up the family? He got together with his best friend's spouse? Are you saying he did these things? Kyra, listen to yourself. You just right there in the sentence you made, and you didn't make a mistake here. This isn't some slip of the tongue. This is true. Why is he playing sad when he did this? You're such a liar. You are a liar and a tart.
Obviously a very immature and emotional reaction. So I knew if I wanted to grow and I wanted to be a better mom and a better partner and a better person, I need to acknowledge my flaws in that.
You didn't acknowledge any flaws yet. Just as she says, I need to acknowledge flaws. Okay, great. What are they? Because at this point, she's like, I have some responsibilities. I have some roles. I have some flaws. But here, everything Oscar did wrong. And why is he playing this card when he's the one who did it all? What are your flaws then, Kyra? She just says it. So what she's doing is deflecting now, and it's self-deprecating what she's doing right now, but she's not actually owning up to it. She's just saying, I had some stuff, but it's all mostly him now. I had some stuff, but it's all him. Preston had nothing to do with it. He did. Yeah, oh my God, this does get worse. Did you watch the
video, or are you just speaking from what you've been told? I did not watch his...
This is the 15th time she said this.
Video.
You watched it.
Haven't been told. Actually, just recently.
See her body language when she does this? I haven't actually watched it at all. I've never seen it. Liar! Like, you literally are going to set your pants on fire with the lies you're making right. You have seen the video. Could you, like, if you're in this type of relationship and this guy's going to release a video that could potentially affect you, you're telling me you're not going to watch that? Get freaking wrecked. You watched it multiple times.
Found out that his video was uploaded because I went to upload my YouTube video today and it popped up, but I didn't watch it. He was over at my house a few days ago.
Liar.
Getting his car washed, and so he stayed here all day and was asking me for advice on it, and I did watch a very, very rough draft.
You watched it. It was probably literally the draft that he uploaded. She says rough draft like it was probably like, it was like 2 hours long, and probably... No, you watched the whole video. You're such a damned liar. Rough draft.
So, yeah.
Why do you keep... When she emphasizes that like 5, that's probably the 5th time she said that, truthfully, in this video. The 5th time she said, I haven't seen it, she's telegraphing exactly what she's saying. You have to say the thing, you're not the thing. You watched it, Kyra. Liz, relationships can become toxic without people being toxic. Neither of you are bad people, just a bad situation. Well, I think if you took a poll, right, of 1,000 people who did not know Kyra and Oscar and told them this story, right, there are 2 people. They got together when they were teenagers. He was seeing someone, she wasn't, and then he dumped that girl for this girl. So that's how they came together. Then they had children and exploited them on the internet together. Both a-holes for doing so. They made tons of money. They were social media influencers, okay? And then they hired this nanny. Then the nanny came into the picture and was good friends, and the nanny had a husband who then became friends in their inner sanctum, okay, in their inner tanctum. They started a sex podcast, which either of them not knowing much about it, just because they've had it doesn't mean that they're good at it, right? And then during that podcast, that best friend's husband was a big part of it. And then all of a sudden, it's weird, right? They both broke up at the same time, right? But the main character here, her best friend, instead of comforting her, she went and comforted her ex-husband, and now they're engaged. What do you think the poll would look like? Okay? You think they'd be like, no, there's nuance. There's no nuance here. The entirety of the people being polled to be like, yeah, that's a bad person. There's some shady shit going on. That's it. Again, Occam's razor. Like, the simplest explanation is likely the most likely. Likely. Do you ever plan to take him to court? Why would she take him to court? For what? She would fucking lose. Look at this. I think people want someone to blame, and it was easier to blame you. Why would it be easier to blame her? Why wouldn't it be easier to blame Oscar since the dude generally gets blamed and she is saying it's all his fault? So needed someone to blame and it was you? Why you? Why? What about girl power? What about, like, you know, feminism and all that stuff and how the guy's always wrong and blah, blah, blah? Why her? The reason they blamed Kyra was because she was to blame. Are you serious? These people are so stupid. And look, Indiana Jones says, am I the only person who thought it was calculated that he posted at the same time your engagement? You are a dickhole, a rusty dickhole, a dickhole with blue waffles.
Cassie, I think, do you ever plan on taking him to court? No. We have both always tried to solve whatever issues that we've had with each other.
No. You've tried. If Oscar grows some balls, though, and finally starts listening to people around him, that's gonna shift. Once Oscar gets another woman in his life, and look, let's be real. Oscar is a type B, more of an introvert, like extra introvert. You know what I mean? In a relationship, he's type B. Okay, he is not the leader. To some degree, in some certain things, maybe, but he literally will let the woman lead. We've seen that, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? It's what he's happiest with. So likely he will find someone very similar to that, but hopefully better. Okay, that will then take control and say, enough of this shit. She's not walking all over you anymore. We're going to fix this quick smart. Okay? That's what's going to happen. And you're not going to be able to solve the problems by taking control, Kyra, like you have this whole time. She is deathly afraid of him finding someone else.
I'm very grateful we haven't had a lot of issues, and
Really?
That's made it...
Oh, you've had issues.
Like, yeah, I've never felt like I wanted to go to court, and actually I really tried to avoid that.
Well, you're going to eventually be there. That's for damn sure.
I think people wanted someone to blame, and it seemed easier to blame you. I think two things. I think that's very true.
Of course you think it's true. Of course. Again, I would love to take a poll. Nobody knows you. Just tell this story and see what the poll says. Someone did post Am I the Asshole on Facebook. It wasn't me, because I said in a video, I'm like, I should do this. But I didn't post that on Facebook. And for the most part, everybody was like, she's the asshole. If you want to go read it. But that's exactly. Everybody's like, no, she's the asshole.
I think that I ruined what people liked because it was my choice, right? And so you do need an answer. People need an answer. And if you don't give them enough of an answer, they're going to come up with their own.
So, again, the whole theme of this video. So give the answer. Give the answer. What's stopping you, man? That's the problem. The thing that's stopping her from giving the answer, she literally cannot. That's the problem here. She wants to so bad because obviously she doesn't care about sharing and oversharing. She's done it her whole life. She cannot, right? Something is stopping her. Hannah, likely, something like that, where if she does say the truth, Hannah will then come out with her truth, and that's going to make her look real bad. So that's she can't, and she wants to, because she said that multiple times. And so the logical conclusion of that is that the thing out there is so bad. That's the problem.
And me saying I needed to find myself was my number one mistake and regret, besides the way I acted in that video.
Really?
Which I talked about, but I shouldn't have said I needed to find myself, because even though that was true. So
everything you're going to say after this doesn't mean anything, because you're like, I wish I didn't say that, even though it was all completely true. So, okay, then you did mean to say it. Okay, awesome.
I just didn't want to sit there and talk about my relationship. I wasn't ready to do it.
Yes, you did. That video was your idea. Are you kidding me? Yes, you did, and you guys made tons of money on it. What do you mean you didn't want to sit there and talk about it? So why did you do it? You're the one in charge here, Kyra. You always have been. You're telling us that Oscar's like, get over here now. We're getting this on video. Are you serious? We all know that you'd be like, pound sand, bitch. I'm not doing anything. You know that. So what do you, more lies, just lies on lies. It's like snacks on snacks without the snacks.
We hadn't even had a conversation at the point that video went up. So
why did you do it then? Butthole.
I think that's true. And then the other thing is I do think his reaction and my attitude made people feel that way, and they were very valid to feel that way.
Martina Palilli says, people need to realize someone doesn't just leave a 7-year relationship out of nowhere. It's common sense that it was a buildup. Is it? Or is it that this person found somebody else? One of the main, I don't know if this is true, I'm just going to suppose some shit. But I think one of the main reasons for like long-term marital or relationship breakups is generally cheating. Cheating would be a quick thing to, like, as soon as you find someone else, you're like out of that relationship, right? I do understand a build-up where like you're just sick of it and you don't want to be blah, blah, blah. I understand that too. But there are multiple explanations than just this. And our explanation for the Presticles thing is more likely considering she's now engaged to Preston. So, okay. Go find yourself. Hope you find yourself in a well.
I think people forget that YouTubers are humans. This is your actual life and they forget about it. I think that's true. I think it's more, not necessarily that YouTubers are human. I think it's more that people forget that there's more than just what's on camera. I think a lot of you guys...
Well, then all of you YouTubers who do this better stop saying real and raw. Welcome to our life. Hey, you're part of the family. This is who we live. This is who we are. You are the ones who set that precedent. You're the ones who say that. You're the ones who tell everybody that this is real. This is who you really are. So then stop doing that, right? If you didn't do that, then maybe people will be like, oh, if you went and hey guys, this is like not us. What you're about to see are the best parts of our life. It's absolutely all fake for the cameras. But you can't say that because people wouldn't watch you. They think you're authentic, which is why they watch you, and you play that role. So by not telling people the truth, it's your fault. So don't get mad when people make up their own truth based on what you show them. And what we've seen, you literally showing us, is bad anyway.
Sensed what was going on in our relationship for on a lot of different occasions. But you want to believe just the basis of what you're shown, you know? And even I did.
Cool.
Kason, I'm so sorry. I didn't see your questions. I just scrolled to the bottom right now because there's quite a few that I didn't want to miss the ones at the bottom.
I thought Emily said your skin looks gravy. Not glowy. Gravy. Your hair looks gravy.
I know people in here think us talking about this means we are against you, but it's not. I definitely think...
No, they're against you.
You know, this last 6 months-ish, I don't even know a timeline, I've really been trying to just change my perspective and just...
There it is. Michael says, if you are doing things behind his back, of course it's easy to sit here and say it's because you were fed up. But in reality, he was blindsided. Again, she was sabotaging at the end. And Oscar and her both admitted on camera that she was consoling and comforting somebody. Who would that somebody be? Because likely, I still think the cheating happened. But this is how I think the cheating happened. I think that Presticles and Hannah were having problems in their marriage. Right? That's probably what happened. And made it probably easier for Preston to step out. And so she was consoling him. Maybe he went to her and saying, look, we're having marital problems. And she was consoling him through those marital problems. That's why I think there's so much crazy. Like, she doesn't want you to know these things. Because Hannah likely didn't know that she was consoling Preston through their marital problems. And she consoled him right into a fucking divorce. So even if there wasn't cheating, if this was the scenario as well, that's bad too. Got it?
Understanding. Even it's no secret. You guys see the hate, right? That's pretty much all you see about me in my comment section, in my everything. And
you shut off your comment section, so we don't see that.
I get it.
Do you get it? Clearly you don't get it.
But I also love making content and I'm not going to stop.
Nobody wants you to stop. People just want you to be honest. Tell this crazy truth. Make all the content you want. Without your kids, hopefully. That's not what people want. They want you to just be truthful. People have general faith in humanity, and when they see someone likely that they idolized or that they fanned, right, do something super shitty, that just, and it's not, again, it's, if you idolize people and put your faith and stock in a social media influence, that's your own fault. Let's be real. But let's take it back. There are people who are kind of like, just innocent like that. And they're like, I love the relationship. I love watching it. And when they feel betrayed because of what you did, that's valid too. Right? So I don't know where I was going with that, but I had a good point. I lost it.
And what am I supposed to do? You know?
Tell the truth. Just tell the damn truth, man. That's what you're supposed to do. That's it. If it makes it worse for you for a little while, at least you got your truth out. Probably you feel good too. Bet your therapist would be proud of you.
I do think he was blindsided, but that's the part that makes me a little frustrated. And that was a lot of where my hurt came from when we first broke up, because it was kind of...
You don't get to say, yes, I blindsided him, but that's where my hurt came from. What? You don't get to do that. You don't get to be like, yeah, I did this to him, but that's why I'm hurt. Who? How do people like this exist? That's to me is narcissism. 100%. That's gaslighting for sure. Yes, I blindsided him. She admittedly just said it, but that's where my hurt comes in.
Like how?
Holy shit, man. Am I crazy?
How were you blindsided? Were we, not just me, were we both supposed to just sit through this for the rest of our lives?
No. Could have done therapy. Could have tried other things. Could have not cheated. Even if you didn't cheat by doing threesomes and stuff like that, let's say that. If you consoled this man while he was going through marital problems with your nanny, okay, that's emotional cheating. It's also cheating, by the way, everybody. And a lot of these people would be like, well, if there was no P in the V, it doesn't matter to me. That's not true. Okay? If she was emotionally consoling some dude who was literally her best friend's husband, and Oscar found out about it and they admitted that, we have to go back and watch that breakup video. We have to go dissect it again now, knowing what we know now. Even that is bad. And she admitted it on camera. So, hey, it's Casey's like, okay, I really want to know, was the threesome story true? Yes, it is true. She has not denied it. They do that stuff. And she flexed it. Like, this is what we do. They're consenting adults. There's really nothing wrong with threesome. And I think I've said that a bunch of times. I mean, I would never do it. But if you're consenting, whatever. I'm just saying maybe don't do if you have children on the internet, that their friends can see it later. You know, there's things to consider, but if you're a consenting adult, doesn't hurt anybody around you or affect anybody around you, get all the taint you can get. You know what I'm saying? More taint to you. But that being said, it does affect your children. It affects Oscar. It affects everything about you. They talk about this in the podcast and stuff like that. They're absolutely about this life. And it's going to end in an absolute disaster. Absolute disaster.
And is right. You know, there's a lot I would change about the way that it all happened, but I do hope that you guys, mostly I hope.
Bambi's like, was it hard for you to have a split up while on vacation? Do you wish you would have waited till you got home? Probably.
People see, like, I have a heart, and there's just a lot more.
Do you have a heart?
And that, you know, I keep hoping, it paused, sorry, but I keep hoping very often that regardless of the things that I haven't done right or that have not happened the way they should have, or all these things, all the negativity, I just hope people see, like, I genuinely am, I have a good heart. Sometimes I'm not even very good at showing that.
No, you don't. And I know you want to say, I know you want to think you have a good heart. And it's usually the people who are the worst of the worst, generally, and are very not aware. They're not self-aware. They think they're good people because maybe they did one good thing somewhere and they're like, look, I'm a good person. And this is a pathological liar, right? You know you're not a good person, Kyra. Like I know I've done some crappy things in my life. Everybody is known to some degree. Oh, I wish I couldn't have done that. You're not a good person, especially not now. And you can have a redemption arc if you want. But you know that what you have done to break up your family it doesn't make you a good person. You're not a good person. Now, you might think that you're a good person, but we all see differently. And I know you want to be a good person. Nobody wants to be a bad person, right? But don't sit here and say, I think I'm a good person. You're not. Not yet. I mean, maybe later when you mature and grow up. Maybe. Everybody has that opportunity. I read somewhere that men are fully mature at the age of 43. And so I'm 43 and I can see that. Kyra's still young. She will learn and maybe come out from this and cringe at the things that she has done in her life. One day she'll wake up. Absolutely. And it won't be next to Preston. It'll be wake up alone and she'll be lonely and she'll have nothing. And her kids won't even like her. Okay? But that's going to suck for her when she gets older. And so as much as that's not really snarky, that's going to be her reality. I'm a good person. I'm crying. This is all wine.
Yeah, I think that is part of it. But there was a time between when we split up and when I had gotten with my new partner that...
Just call him Preston.
That we had talked personally. This was not ever on the internet, but where he also felt blindsided, and that is when I was upset about that, because my new partner, that's fair, and
my new partner, F off.
Never been angry about that. If anything, I've catered to him for that, and like, what do you need, and how can I do to make this better? Like, kiss ass, you know, because I get it.
What? So she's admitting wrong here. She's like, I did that wrong. I absolutely shouldn't have. And I found myself, and I went with Preston right away. We're not stupid, Kyra. Come on, like stop thinking we're dumb. I hate when people like insult our intelligence, right? You got with Preston. If like again, I know it was before. I know, okay, but let's say you didn't. It was like minutes after you broke up with Oscar. So come on, man. Come on, we're not dumb.
But blindsided about a relationship ending when that was happening, that was a little frustrating.
She was texting Preston on vacation, and Preston was sending her, pictures of his cowboy boots and stuff. And then they probably got a little drunk and got a little argument, and then she just she did it on vacation because that was the moment. She's like, okay, I'm done. She was waiting for the moment to do it, and she wasn't going to pass up the opportunity. That's what happened.
Kayla, yes. Oh my gosh, I have I guess I shouldn't say too much, that'll narrow it down. But I know somebody who's been in a relationship and their child is now a young adult, and their child is like, oh my gosh, I've been begging since I was like 3 for them to leave each other.
Okay, so one child said it. So everybody just leave, everybody. Come on, don't justify this shit. Okay, you didn't work hard enough. That's it. That's for truth. And people are like, I can only understand if Oscar was like abusing you. Like no question. If he was doing drugs, if he was an alcoholic, if he was hurting you emotionally, physically, whatever, abusing you, leave. Okay, if you're in a relationship like that, guys, leave. Okay, but we all know that's not true. We all know it wasn't. Oscar loved her, didn't see it coming, and just wasn't enough for her. That's what it was. Okay, so let's just be honest about that. Okay, you just had enough of it, and this world honors that, and that has got to change. Because that's crazy. Everybody's just being like, you got Mia Khalifa out here being like, I take marriage advice from me. A porn star's been married 3 times. You just leave them. Like no, man. There are other things you can do before that, especially when it's something that can be reconciled. If the guy loves you and you love him, but there's something that's really bugging you, there's so much value in getting outside help for that. And it's crazy that nobody does. Really. I think if you just tried it, you'd be like, holy shit, just try it, man. At least before you do that, right? Can you just do the one thing? Try it?
Thank you, guys. I definitely think that I have considered making a video to talk about all this.
Oh, please do.
Because I do know what people want is just to see that I take accountability. Well, at least a lot of level-headed people, they just want to see that I do feel responsible and that I do know what I've done wrong and all that. And
no, we want the truth. This truth that you say that's out there that's like, you make it worse because you just keep lying about it or skirting the issue. You're a liar. And that's what people hate. People hate liars.
For those people, I want to make a video. It's just, I guess it's scary to maybe put that out there and still have people, a mass amount of people. I mean, it's the internet. Not everybody's going to like me.
Nobody's going to like you. Not after what you did.
I've never expected that, but
okay.
I guess it's just scary to put that out there. And the biggest thing is, the most important thing to me is to keep a cordial relationship with the person I'm co-parenting with. Mm-hmm. That is like a daily relationship that I need to keep very good. And I put a lot of effort towards that. So making that video, even though it's for people who love and support me and who deserve that video, if there's a chance that that's going to upset him, it does scare me to do it because
yeah. Articulating complete.
And then I also have your guys' feelings where I'm
your guys's. Stop saying your guys's.
Like, yeah, it's fine. Nobody needs. I don't need to prove myself. So.
Well, this hour-long video proves otherwise. I don't need to prove myself, but let's try anyway.
Like, that's why sometimes I kind of feel like bipolar in a sense, because sometimes I do feel like, honestly, you don't need to know. And then I get in this like bad bitch mood, I have my alter ego.
No. Nobody needs to know. But you put this on the internet forever. You put yourself in this position because you guys wanted to make money. And you don't regret it. You regret it now because now the whole internet's against you and you're pissed that they are. You're like, this is every family vlogger though, right? Every influencer. Like, I'm going to tell you everything and be so real and raw about my whole life. And here, everybody's been asking me about my skincare routine and about like this and mothering advice and blah, blah, blah. Until shit hits the fan, they're like, I don't know you guys shit. It's my truth. I don't owe you anything. Like, doesn't that sit wrong with most people? Yeah, you do. You sort of do. These people gave you their social media currency and made you money and fame. You sort of do. That's kit and caboodle, part and parcel of this world. You don't just get to pick and choose. Otherwise, people will make up their own thing, which they have here. I don't think they made it up. I think they're absolutely right about what you did.
That part of me doesn't. But then the other part of me is like, maybe I should, especially like now that I'm getting married and like, I just want to...
You're not getting married. Let's be real. It's a pearl.
I'm literally shaking.
Like a cacciarella shaking.
So maybe making a video would like close it off?
It won't. It'll make it worse and we'll snark on it. I hope you do.
But yeah, I just don't want to upset him. I don't want to just fuel the fire and like give people something else to pick at it for.
No, you don't get to say that, because in this video alone, you said a bunch of times that you have like this truth that will like exonerate you in everybody's eyes. So why don't you just shut us all down, man? Shut all the haters down. Come out with the truth. I mean, if it's that simple and it makes you look good, why would you not? You're a narcissist. Why would you not want yourself to look good? See, that's the problem. Kyra thinks she's a good person. She also thinks this information she has will make her look good and be like, look, see, it's the truth. But she knows, she's scared because she knows it's a bullshit lie.
So, yeah, I don't know. Anyways. Sorry, I know that got deep, but I figured tonight was going to be, like, I knew you guys were probably going to ask how I felt about the video, because once I saw it, I assumed a lot of other people saw it.
I hope this isn't a major topic anymore after the wedding. Well, Rach, there won't be a wedding. You heard it here.
Thank you, Kaysen. I just saw a good question.
Bold Brittany's like, I'm so glad you're happy. Does she look happy? Look at her zits. Does she look happy?
What advice for having kids not married? Because I want kids now with my boyfriend. I don't think it's necessarily essential to be married to have kids. Everybody
probably should, though. Probably should.
Marriage to be, like, have a different purpose. I definitely am one of those people. Like, I'm getting married now out of love and excitement.
Why get married then? Just have love and excitement. Why do you need this institution? You don't need it anymore, everybody. I'm like, it's totally not taken the way it was meant to be anyways. This devotion. Again, and the marriage was a pact between two people. It's like, till death do us part. And even, it's like a biblical thing. You guys know that, right? So people out there are atheists and everything else. I know she's not a believer. That shit's from the Bible, man. The marriage isn't just something that was like civil union. It's literally a Christian principle, a biblical belief. And not only that, it's like, it's Muslim. It's like every major religion has this type of ceremony. It's a pact that you're creating with your God or your whatever, right? It's a big deal. And now it's just become this like, let's have a party so I can show off what I have. Don't get married. If you're already living with somebody and having babies, there's literally no point in wasting money in a marriage license, because you're basically married for all intents and purposes. What does a piece of paper change? I get some people like, in America, it gets you, things like medical and shit. So I understand that. So I do get that. So if people are getting married for healthcare, holy shit, your healthcare system is destroyed. But stop this bullshit, okay? Especially among people who are like this, who actually don't take the marriage vow seriously. Don't. If you're not willing to take this vow seriously, then do something else. Somebody needs to come up with a different type of union where it's like just a temporary, like you don't say the things like death do us part, sickness and health, blah, 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 blah. You don't say any of that stuff because you don't mean it. If you're willing to throw your marriage away for taint, even though Oscar wasn't abusive, wasn't doing any of these bad things, and he just didn't cry enough for you, like, come on, you didn't take any vow seriously, nor will you ever from now on. Okay, so let's be real. Stop getting married if you're not actually going to take it seriously. Okay, please, just save yourself the money.
But not because I think it's going to change anything. Having him be my husband, like, our love's not going to change. Like, I still love.
It's not going to change, eh?
Him.
You should never say definitive things like this on the internet, okay? Because your love for him will change and his love for you will absolutely change. He's still, 23? And, like, wants to do threesomes? You don't think his love is going to change? Okay. I get it. She wants you to. She's saying that because she's projecting this thing because she has to tell you that she's happy. Our love's not going to change. I promise. Probably said that about Oscar too. Nobody believes you, Kyra, because you're a damned liar who doesn't stick to anything you say, and you're a liar. Chinsits.
I don't know. And plus, weddings are very expensive, and honeymoons are expensive, and all that. So
don't do any of it.
Those people who I don't think it's essential in a relationship.
Yeah, it's not. Don't do it.
However, I do think time is essential, and experiencing things first.
So let's break that down a little bit. So time is very important. You've been with this dude. You broke up with your husband last Christmas or whatever, and you've already engaged to a dude, and you want to have babies with this guy. And you're just telling us time is essential? Okay. Well, your actions speak louder than your words. So let's just say you're a liar. Don't take advice from Kyra. I think that's what we're getting from this. Don't listen to anything Kyra has to say.
My advice is experience a lot of things first and then have kids, and then husband or boyfriend doesn't really change much.
What an idiot. Maybe if you're going to take advice between Kyra and Mia Khalifa, maybe do Mia Khalifa.
So the I statement things, I actually learned that a while ago in therapy, and I definitely that is what I try to do most of the time, and I've thought about doing a video in that way, but even me again, the reason I'm fearful of doing the video is upsetting him. And
no, it's not. You're fearful of upsetting Oscar. You literally threw him into Mordor. He's in a living hell. He was considering lots of things, moving, leaving it all behind, and you're scared to make him upset. Why do you just lie about the most simple things we can debunk? Why do you lie? You're so bad at it, Kyra.
If I do I statements, I feel like some of those things he'll be like, well,
look at these questions. Will you still entertain threesomes once married?
Why do you feel that way? And then it'll cause problems, or that's not how it went, or that's not and I just don't want any of that. Not to say that's 100% what would happen, but it just makes me sweat, girl. It's funny because I'm not afraid of confrontation at all. In fact, I'm the opposite. Completely the opposite. You guys see when you guys
yeah, we know you are. I agree with her on this.
And there's people who leave comments and things.
She loves confrontation. And you look at that video where they're fighting in the parking lot, she's the aggressor there.
I don't care to acknowledge it, but it's again very different with him because it's more than just even wanting to keep a friend. This,
he is not your friend anymore.
Is somebody that
you betrayed the shit out of Oscar. You think he's your friend?
I share my children with, and
I mean that's a credit to Oscar because maybe he is, and more power to him because if he can forgive and forget and move on, that's his priority and that's prerogative. And it's probably healthier. Let's be real, but most of us couldn't. Let's be real, okay? Most of us could not move on after finding out what we found out. But Oscar loves his kids more than he loves being angry at this douchebag. And so that, again, more credit to Oscar.
If things are damaged, what if he doesn't send me pictures of the kids doing fun things? Or what if, the kids sent stuff?
What?
I don't know. So it's more than just, trying to not hurt his feelings, although I don't want to do that. It's also how could that affect things with the
If I piss off Oscar, he won't send me pictures. Well, that's a good reason, I guess.
100% my goal right now is to make content I love and that I feel passionate about. Mm-hmm. Do a million fun things with my kids before school starts, and then
so you're not gonna do any of these things. Got it.
Make their school years so memorable. Just be a good mom.
You already failed a good mom. Come on. Look who's living at your house. You kidding me?
Also to be an amazing housekeeper, homemaker, fiance, wife, that. Those are
you would not do any of those things. It's not gonna happen.
My goals. When I think of what I'm focused on right now, that's what I'm focused on, and that.
See, it only matters if Kyra is happy at this point, right? I wonder if Kason Morales, whoever that is, I don't know if they're connected to Oscar, but I don't know if they're saying that to be affirming of her or say that's sarcasm or that's sarcasm. It only matters if Kyra's happy, right?
That's what I want to keep my mind on. So yeah, I do think one day I will maybe share more of it, maybe not.
See, Cindy Anna Jones writes, any particular reason you stop sharing them? I miss seeing them. You miss seeing some strangers' kids. Creepy predator weirdo.
I don't know. I just have to trust what I what feels right, you know?
Right, yeah, we know. You trust what feels right. You go based off feelings and don't give a shit about anybody else around you. Doesn't matter if it tears relationships apart. Doesn't matter. It's about you, Kyra. It's always been about you. It's all about Kyra. Boom. And anything she wants.
People care about you being with P since P was your best friend's husband. Mm-hmm. I do think a lot of the reason that people are upset is because, yes, of who I ended up with. And again,
You think?
Be fair. Like, I cannot take away from that. Not, like, I get it. But at the same time...
But?
People don't know the way that it happened. He wasn't...
So tell us! Tell us!
He was single when I started effing him because...
What? So that's her justification? He was single, like they were separated when I started effing him, so it's okay, right? It's okay. Like there couldn't have been any reconciliation in their marriage or anything. Did he separate from her so that he could now go stoop so he can go bang Kyra and be like, look, I was single? They weren't. They were cheating.
Truthfully, that's how it started.
No, it's not.
And again, there's just...
Wow, such a classy way to put it. Now your kids can see this someday. How did you get with your stepdad? Well, you know what? He was my nanny's husband, and they broke up, and then we started effing. But we weren't together. We were just effing for fun.
That's why you don't see me getting on here and being like, you know...
What?
Things, because...
What? Getting on here and doing what? Throwing Oscar under the bus? Lying about everything? Yeah, we do see you on here doing all that. What do you mean? She honestly doesn't even remember the words she spoke 20 minutes ago. That's how that's how much of a pathological liar she is. She contradicts herself every 5 minutes and doesn't even understand that she's doing it.
I get it. And if I could have not fallen in love with him, I wouldn't have.
Oh, okay. It's can't help who you fall in love with. Really? Shut up, you absolute donut. You absolutely can help not falling in love with somebody else's husband. It's really easy. You can just not. Yeah? This excuse for people breaking up marriages, like, you can't help it. Well, you should. Okay? Go find someone else. There's a million other people out there.
Trust me.
No, I don't know. I don't trust you. Don't trust her around your husband either, ladies.
It's true. P's the problem. Just admit you were a shitty friend. Own it and move on. I think people do also miss, like, a lot of the content that I put out because... And I put out a lot...
She just read a comment and be like, P's the problem, you're a douchebag. I think people miss my content. Okay.
So I get it, but...
It's a weird answer.
I definitely have acknowledged it in small ways without titling it and thumbnailing it as a video, so maybe that's why...
You have not acknowledged that you're bad and everybody hates you. Sorry. You've acknowledged everybody hates you, but you will not acknowledge you're bad. You don't think that you're wrong for this. You don't think you honestly believe you're like, well, I fell in love, and that's the universe.
I feel like they've seen it. But I definitely have said, again, I know that is not how things should happen. Like, I understand that. There's a lot of ways that, not even just with me being with P, but a lot of things that have made me a shitty friend over the years, and not just to her. Like, this has been one of the biggest things.
Way to deflect. I've been a shitty friend to a lot of people, so it's just kind of par for the course. Wow, great answer, Kyra.
That I have had to reflect on, and one of the hardest things for me to reflect on, because I didn't know how in the beginning, like, how to reflect on that, you know.
Oh, I hate these answers where she's trying to say what you want her to say, but she's like, I'm just trying to reflect on how maybe I could have possibly been better. Just say it. I was a shitty person, and I am a shitty person. Yeah, that's it.
It's just, I don't know, this sounds really psychotic, but...
Yes, it does.
For a long time, I just didn't value friendships. Like, I think...
You still don't, dumbass, you don't!
People do.
Oh my God, I can't believe her.
About that, and therapy has really helped me with that. And I've learned I want to value friendships like that.
Little late to want to value friendships now, after you threw all your friendships in the garbage and no one likes you anymore. Little late for that.
Want to have friends. I want to give and love to people. I think I just am always self-sabotaging a little bit, and not in a pity way. Like, again, I take responsibility. Like, it's not okay to be shitty under any circumstances.
Someone says, you definitely chose to F him before you fell in love with him. Don't blame it on falling in love. That came with time. It was a shitty move, but everyone makes mistakes. See, this is right. So you can't help you fall in love with, and you admittedly said that you weren't in love with him when you were effing him. So how does that make any sense? That's a good point from Roxanne.
Will you keep the same custody schedule during the school year? So we actually haven't fully talked about it, but...
Talk about it, Oscar. Holy shit.
Kind of the other day.
Talk about it.
Is anything going to be changing during the year? And he said, like, just assume it's going to be the same. So...
Keep it the same or get more custody, Oscar. Whatever it takes. I don't even care if you have to get a nanny while you work. So when the kids come home from school, you're there. Like, don't give them to Kyra because you have something to do, right? Don't do it. You take custody and always have them in your care at the time you are supposed to have them in your care. Do not rely on Kyra to watch them when you need her to do that. Maybe in an emergency, sure, and she'll probably do that with you. But if it takes literally hiring a nanny, Hannah's a good nanny, and she knows your children, okay? I'm just saying, if that's what it takes to keep the custody schedule as is, do that. Because in the end, Kyra is going to F you over. Again, if she has main custody because you're busy or whatever, and you've done that and you thought it would be okay, she will screw you over. So make sure you get your custody back in order and keep that shit scheduled and diary everything.
Were you not friends with her when it happened? So this is a really good question. And
the tea!
I want to backtrack because maybe I gave off the wrong impression. I'm trying to just clarify two things because I do get...
Oh, I can't wait to hear this. This is the whole video right here.
Being a shitty friend and so getting with him, yes, accurate. Wrong of me.
Whoa, she just admitted it. She was still friends with Hannah while she was effing Preston. Okay? Now, she wants to get into semantics and say, well, he was broken up with her and I was broken up with Oscar, so we got together. Right? But they were probably separate. They weren't divorced. Right? And so she's like, yeah, I'm bad for that. That's why people hate you, Kyra. Even if you didn't cheat, which you did. This is basically that anyway. And Hannah was your best friend. Are you crazy? You wonder why people hate you?
I don't wish it happened that way. I wish a lot of things.
So why did you do it then? You're an adult. Why did you do it? There's so much more she's not telling. Anyway, this, again, makes it even... Take away all the cheating, because I know they did, but let's just say they didn't again. Let's just say she is telling the truth. That is bad too. I was friends with her while I was literally banging her husband that she was separated from. And likely in secret behind her back. Why do people hate me? Let me count the ways.
All that. And I do take responsibility.
No, you don't take responsibility. You don't. You don't.
Like, I need to learn how to not only be a better friend, but...
The understatement of the century. I need to be a better friend and not bang my best friend's husband while they're separated. You know, I'm looking back, I'm thinking, maybe I should have just not done that.
Just, like, understand.
You think?
I'm still working through that process.
Okay? Are you? Okay, cool. You're still working it? Cool. Circle back, Jen Psaki.
One step at a time. But I don't think that I'm, like...
What? Wrong?
Like it's okay, you know?
You don't think it's okay? What? What was she... No, she changed what she was going to say. But I don't think that it's okay. Okay.
But...
Agreed. But...
The reason why that I keep saying that he was single is because a big thing is people keep saying that he was still with his partner and that I was still with mine. And I have not and will never. And like, it's just, that's not who I am. So it's hard for me not.
Don't lie. You are a liar.
To defend. There's few good things about me, but that is one of them.
There is no good things about you.
And so that's why I kind of try to clear.
Are you saying there's few good things about me, but one of the good things was that I banged my best friend's husband while they were on a separation. You know, that's the one good thing about me. Say what you want, but I did that. Everybody over here like, do you hear what's coming out of your forehead? Do you hear the things, the sound shapes that your mouth is making? Do you understand how stupid you are? Clearly not.
That, but it doesn't, I'm not defending the fact that I didn't do anything wrong. So I definitely don't mean that.
We got that.
Julia, oh my gosh, you need to send me pictures. Congratulations.
Get lost.
Because 80 people told me to try it. An idea of what they want to be, and as they get older, I'm sure it'll be more specific. But at this age, we kind of just love going to the store and finding.
Shut up.
But that was kind of where our minds, and especially because we didn't think it was going to turn into love, because we barely even and hurt and alone. However, that's also bad for relationships, and we didn't really have anybody at the time because I don't know how to say this right. Roxanne.
He wasn't divorced, so technically he wasn't single. Boom.
I think that's right.
So wait, so you stopped being friends with her before getting with P? No, Steph. What she said was she was still friends with Hannah while she was getting with Taint.
Yes, we definitely were sleeping together before we ever fell in love. It didn't take long to fall in love, but we definitely were sleeping
She's so bad.
Together out of struggle relating. We were both the bad guys in a relationship. And we were the ones who ended our relationships. And we didn't really have anybody at the time because...
You didn't need anybody at the time. You were both going through major breakups according to you. Why did you need somebody at the time? Take a break. Literally jumps into a relationship instantly. That's why we don't believe anything you're saying.
Of everything that was going on, so we really kind of used each other. That's not so bad.
No, it is bad.
In those ways. And it didn't feel wrong at that time because we were so angry and upset and hurt and alone and all these things. And I'm just giving you insight to my mind. This
Wow. We were so hurt and alone, so we banged each other behind Ken's back.
is not me saying that shouldn't, or that should have happened. It shouldn't.
Holy shit, these people shouldn't have kids. If you can't control your loins, like, you're just something wrong with you. Okay? If you literally cannot control your wang and your things, you have problems.
But
have self-control.
That was kind of where our minds, and especially because we didn't think it was going to turn into love because we barely...
Got to test that milk before you buy it, says Michaela. Ew.
Even hung out.
Ew.
Before that.
Ew.
It seemed like a little...
Why? Is the milk going to be sour? So what do you mean?
And no, I wasn't considering anybody else's feelings in that, and either was he, and either were they.
What do you... Whoa! You don't get to be like, no, Preston and I weren't considering feelings, neither were they. What do you mean neither were they? What do you mean neither were they? You guys are the ones who were banging. What do you mean? Oh my gosh, she just said that. She's like, Preston and I were not considering anybody's feelings, but neither were Hannah and Oscar. What? What do you mean?
So that, I mean, we had just, yeah.
What? No! You need to go back on what you just said right there. Preston and I were banging. We did not care about anybody else's feelings, but neither did Hannah and Oscar. What feeling? Why? Did they do something? What are you saying? Maybe that's the thing she has. Maybe Hannah and Oscar were cheating. I highly doubt it, but maybe that's what she has. What did she say? Did she just say that? She always tries to take accountability. She's like this. She does this a lot. She's like, she says something that's like self-deprecating, or she's like, she finally tells the truth, but they didn't know. Wow. Yeah. Renee is asking, what do you mean either were they? Please answer that. Please answer that question.
The kids' schedule is currently, I have them pretty much full time, and then when he doesn't have anything going on, he gets them on Saturday night, and then sometimes he keeps them next weekend. We're traveling.
Answer that question. So... Oh, she's ignoring that question. She's ignoring it. Mm-hmm.
Was it awkward to hook up with him after seeing him as just a friend? Not really. Again, the trauma...
When you're a tart, nothing matters.
...has made me very easily detach emotionally to everything.
What trauma? What trauma? Is she saying I had trauma, so I banged my nanny's husband? Is that what she's saying right now? What the F? I hope you tell your therapist this, and I hope your therapist is like, you're a fucking liar.
Not anymore. I'm not as good at it anymore, and it's kind of obnoxious. Oh my gosh, congratulations, how exciting. Does P look at the Reddit pages? No, neither.
Yeah, you do, don't lie.
Do.
You damn liars.
You really
I love haters. Like, it's awesome. She absolutely reads her hate pages. Every single creator, I don't care what they tell you, until a certain degree, reads their hate pages. Okay? They absolutely read them. And if you don't embrace it and know that it's beneficial to you, it's going to hurt you. Hate pages help you. And she absolutely reads her hate pages.
How to look at that, to be honest. And plus, why would I? I don't really know.
I would actually engage in my hate page. Because I wanted hey, ask me anything, and they banned me. They're like, oh. How many people have hate pages where the person goes and is like, hey, I'm here, ask me some questions. And they're like, you're banned. It is what it is.
I've heard there's just a lot of hate things over there.
Have you heard?
And I already have that on Instagram. So if I really wanted to read something, I'd just go to Instagram.
No, you should go to your Reddit page, because you do.
Plus I've noticed the
just like you haven't watched Oscar's video, eh?
This stuff is for a lot younger people. So if I'm gonna read hate, I want to read like the professional kind, and that's usually on my Instagram.
The professional? No, Reddit has the best hate.
So bad, but it's true.
It's the best hate.
Any more decisions on tearing down the house or renovating?
No, I don't care.
Preston's take was good, but I want to know your opinion on like what happens if people don't come to the wedding because they're upset about what happened.
I need to know this.
Truthfully, people in our lives who like, well, just that generic statement wouldn't not come because everybody in our lives knows kind of like the full thing. And
who's everybody?
Even though it was not an ideal situation, and again, there was things that everybody did wrong. And
stop saying everybody. Stop saying. See, what she's trying to say here is that everybody did something wrong. Kyra, this is all you. You did this wrong. Preston did wrong. Oscar and Hannah, according to everybody, what we say now, they didn't do anything wrong. It's just you and Preston. Stop saying everybody. She's doing that because she wants to disassociate herself from the blame. Liar.
Especially me. It's not like that in real life. Like, what's going on the internet is not a real life. And we have a lot of people who are around that love and support us.
No, you don't. Even his parents don't. So let's be real. And you imagine, I think his brothers and sisters too, they probably hate you too.
Also, it's been a year and a half, and by that time, it'll be like, whatever.
Are you having a bridal party? No, because then you'd have to have a bridal party. Nobody's going to be in a bridal party.
Another year from now, so there's nobody. If they're still upset, they're probably not in our lives anymore, you know?
Yeah. You know, people who hate the fact that I cheated on my boyfriend and the daddy of my kids and that he cheated on his wife for me, you know, if they don't like it, they can F right off. I need support.
I feel like backless fitted silk would be...
Shut up.
Okay, guys, I love you so much.
Okay, that's crazy. The second half was worse. She did so much worse in the second half. And then, like, the thing that struck me the most was blaming Oscar, and then the other thing was, like, they did something wrong, too. What did they do? Tell the truth. Just tell the damn truth, Kyra. It will set you free. It'll set you free. But she can't. Likely because some shit's going down otherwise. That's what I'm saying. I honestly think maybe even legally she can't tell the truth. Take a deep breath. It's Saturday. Mark and I got some stuff. We're planning to do some stuff. We're building an ice bath for the Doodads channel. I'm going to put that up really soon. I want you guys to go subscribe to that when it gets up. So be watching for that. We're going to do some cooking videos, make Philly cheesesteaks. We're going to do some steaks. We're going to be doing lots of griddle cooking, lots of smoking, lots of building cool projects. You guys are going to love Doodads, okay? Mark and I are getting some stuff going. I'm very excited. I'm going to do our podcast probably. I'm going to tell you all about it soon. So stay tuned for that. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being amazing. Thank you for your support, okay? Don't do what she does, okay? Don't believe that this is okay. It's not. But you're okay. You know what? You're better than okay. You're some kind of something. Did you know that? You are. I'll see you when I see you.